baseball history to hit 4 home runs in one game. This barely happens, and to prove to you, like, here's like the top 5 most
rarest things to happen in baseball.
Rarest things to happen in baseball.
Yeah.
First one is really hard. It's a perfect game. Not many are done. They've come close, but they become no-hitters due to an error or a walk, unfortunately. So if you ever are at a perfect game, congrats, because it's like seeing a triple rainbow, not just a double rainbow, but a triple rainbow. Number 2 would be an unassisted triple play, which is miraculous if you can actually pull that off. And I believe the only way that you can do that is if you're on second base, because you would have to catch the line out, tag second base, and if the person from first base was running towards second, you would be able to tag him out. That's just one of a couple ways where you could do that. Hitting 4 home runs in a game is up there. It's third on the list because it's whether pitchers decide to walk you or try and hit you, they're not going to give you a fat pitch to hit out of the park. So what J.D. Martinez did, that's history right there, and congrats to him. Moving on to the third story, and it's the big story of tonight. This just came in today, and the New York Post actually was the first to discuss it, but I'm not going to be biased, and I'm going to read from the Washington newspaper. Basically what happened was that the Boston Red Sox used Apple Watches to steal signs against the Yankees. This is a huge thing because for decades, spying on another team has been as much part of the gamesmanship of baseball as brush back pitches and hard slides. The Red Sox have apparently added a modern and illicit twist. They used an Apple Watch to gain advantage against the Yankees and other teams. Investigators for Major League Baseball have determined that the Boston Red Sox, who are in first place in the American League East and are likely headed to the playoffs, executed a scheme to illicitly steal hand signals from opponents' catchers in games against the second-place Yankees and other teams in their division. The Yankees inquired about it 2 weeks ago after the general manager, Brian Cashman, filed a detailed complaint with the commissioner's office that included video of the Yankees' shot of the Red Sox dugout during the 3-game series. The Yankees caught and were suspicious when signs were going up after one of the members of the dugout looked at their Apple Watch and relayed a message to the players. What they have found out through the commissioner's office, through instant replays and broadcast, they have seen that the Red Sox have been doing that, and the commissioner's office then confronted the Red Sox, who officially admitted that their trainers had received signals from video replay personnel and then relayed the information to some of the players. The Red Sox responded in kind on Tuesday, filing a complaint against the Yankees, complaining that the team uses a camera from its television network, Yes, exclusively to steal signs during games. Now, this has been happening for a while now, where replays have been shown, seeing the signs, communicating them to the dugout, and communicating them to the outfield and or to people trying to steal base from second to third and batters. Is it cheating? Technically, yes, it is. It's almost like when the Patriots were looking at practice films from other teams. This should be recognized, and there should be a punishment brought down from Rod Manfield. We do not know whether or not they will expansively investigate to determine the extent of the sign stealing system, but right now, as this story is still coming out and everything, there will be a punishment handed down, whether it be a draft pick, money consideration, but I don't think it's going to be as high as the Red Sox losing wins and not making it to the playoffs. They have been caught by their rivalry team, which is huge because I believe it was last year that the Red Sox called out a pitcher from the Yankees who had a smudge on his neck, and it was some sticky substance that made the ball grip better. So it's pretty much just back and forth. He said sort of thing that baseball is pretty much all about. And we should recognize when people are cheating. Maybe this is the cause for so many batters being so good over the past couple of seasons, and the pitchers have been declining. If the stealing signs, or if the people in the dugout were not to do this, would pitchers actually be having higher strikeouts? Would batters not be able to see pitches more? Will there be less scores in baseball games? It all depends on the variables. So while this is coming out, we'll continue to inform you, especially later on down when a punishment is handed down, because more than likely there will be.
There we go. Well, thank you, Tommy. And we just got breaking news here. Harold Henderson, the appeals officer for the NFL, has upheld the 6-game suspension for Cowboys running back Ezekiel Elliott. So he's not playing Sunday. It doesn't look like he's going to play for the first 6 weeks of the season. That means it's going to be very interesting to see how the Cowboys are able to get out of this without losing more than 3 or 4 games to start off this season. So thank you again, Tommy, for your contributions as well for the baseball segment. We'll take a short break. When we come back, we'll talk about the 2018 FIFA World Cup. Who's qualified so far? What happened with the U.S. today? And what does that mean moving forward as the U.S. has 2 games left, one against Panama and one at Trinidad and Tobago? What do they have to do to qualify for Russia next summer? So we got some more music here. Here is... It's taking forever to pull it up. All we need, Odez on the Spicy Sports Show with Sam Cerrone and Tom Crane on Spreaker Radio.
There's no time, no space. I could be your private island on a different planet. Anything could happen. Listen to the waves, let them wash away your pain.
And welcome back to the Spicy Sports Show with Sam Stern and Tom Crane, coming to you live from Portland, Oregon and Lancaster, Pennsylvania. It's 5:34 on the West Coast, 8:34 on the East Coast. Tommy, it's probably almost time for your bedtime, so I got to wrap this up pretty quickly. With soccer coming up, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 nations that have qualified for this 32-team tournament. Obviously, the host, Russia. Brazil has qualified from the Colin Bowl region. Mexico has qualified from CONCACAF. With Costa Rica probably soon to follow. In the Asia region, you have Iran, South Korea, Japan, and Saudi Arabia. They have officially clinched all the spots with Asia, with a 5th place team from Asia going to be playing the 4th place team from CONCACAF, which right now is Honduras, but it's only for the moment. As it stands, we'll talk about the game earlier between the United States and Honduras. And, of course, in Europe, you have Belgium as the first team to qualify officially from the European region. So, moving on to the table as it stands right now. As I mentioned earlier, the United States and Honduras just played, and then at the top of the show, we covered the last 5 minutes. 9 points each after the 1-1 draw between the United States and Honduras in Honduras. So what that means for now is United States holds the 3rd spot, and then Honduras is in the 4th spot based off goal differential, with the United States up at a +1 and Honduras at a -7. Now what that means for tonight, the games that you have left, Mexico and Costa Rica play. If Costa Rica wins, then they're going to be in the World Cup as well. So you might as well clinch that at that point, or if they even get a draw at this point, because they already have the head-to-head over the United States. So if they just need 1 point and they are in the World Cup. Panama taking on Trinidad and Tobago. A win for Panama propels them over the United States and Honduras into the 3rd spots, which would mean United States drops to the 4th and Honduras drops to the 5th. A tie for Panama doesn't do Panama much other than to get another point and to be closer to both the United States and Honduras. The game today, it was a much-needed point at the very least for the United States, just because their last 2 games are against Panama at home and then at Trinidad and Tobago to close out. And Trinidad and Tobago, look, even though they're not going to be qualifying for the most part, they're going to have a miracle to try to get in at this point. They're not an easy place to play in, and Honduras showed that with barely winning 2-1 over the weekend. So it's just going to make it very, very difficult for both teams moving forward. For the United States, look, this is a big pressure still. I would say they have to get maximum points from both games in order for them to move on safely. I think, again, 16 points or 15 points total would be phenomenal, but anything more or anything less, I think would put them in serious trouble when it comes to qualifying next summer. Tommy, what are your thoughts on the United States' game today? And again, what do you think needs to happen for them to qualify?
Well, I feel sad emotions. I feel I feel disbelief that the U.S. men's national team has been this subpar lately, especially against teams that they should be beating. Honduras, definitely. Mexico is usually a tough team to beat. Usually there's a tie, but it just seems like they haven't had any fire underneath of them. As I said last podcast, they need to step up their game. They need to come at it 1 game at a time.